Alright, so I'm going to open up and disassemble this Lenovo Yoga 720-15 IKB. This is also having a hinge issue. I probably won't show that. I'm going to be using some epoxy to fix that, but that kind of thing is very different depending on how your thing broke, and I don't want to like lead people into trying to do this type of repair and screw up their computers more. So I'm going to avoid showing that. Anyways, we're going to get a T5 screwdriver and we're going to remove all the T5 screws from the bottom here. So there's a bunch around the frame and one in the center. Okay, so let's remove these screws. 3 along the back where the hinges are. Okay, and there's 4 along the front. And then there's 3 along the center. And it's always a good idea to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shapes, and lengths. So I just put them in the layout that I take them out. So 3, 3, 4, just like that on the desk. Okay, and you can keep them together however you want, but whatever works for you. Okay, so right now the screws towards the back are longer than the ones along the middle. But again, it's always a good idea to put back the same screws where you got them from, even if they are the same length. Okay, so the front screws seem to be about the same size as the middle ones, but it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, they might be about the same. So just in case you accidentally mixed them up, hopefully that will be helpful, but again, you want to try and avoid mixing up the screws. Alright. Okay, so now we got all the screws out. Let's see if we can pop it open with a suction cup. So the customer dropped this, I guess, a few times because it's all dented, so I don't know if yours is going to be easier or more difficult to remove, but it looks like the suction cup just popped it right up, so it's not bad. If you don't have a suction cup, what you can do is if you have some good packaging tape, just put the packaging tape like along here and then towards the middle make it meet like this, and you can use that as like a pull tab to pull the thing up. Alright, so it looks like that worked well. Their fan was like noisy, so I'm gonna see if I can fix the fans here. They don't look too difficult to remove, but there is tape all over it, so we'll see. I don't know, they might actually be trapped underneath here. So I'm gonna clean this up and I will be back. I'm gonna get all the dust out. Oops. Alright, so I'm back. Okay, so clean that out. Alright, it's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner now. Alright, so oop, I don't want to turn it on. Did I accidentally turn it on? Let me make sure it's off. Okay, so if you work on this, of course you want to make sure it's off, and usually as a safety precaution you want to take the battery out and then open it up and press and hold the power button to turn it off, or to make sure that all the power is drained from the capacitors. Let me see, I'm gonna disconnect the battery. So the best way is to undo the screws here. Okay, probably don't need to, but I'm gonna do it anyways. The battery, is there a model number here? Here, model number, let me zoom in a little bit. So battery model number is here, L16L6PC1. Hopefully you can actually read that. Alright, so again, we're going to take all the screws out. Hopefully you can see. They actually label it with some arrows, and it says M2 by 5. Okay, so it looks like there's 4 screws. I don't know if I missed any, but I see 4. I don't know if this tape, it looks like it's just falling off. Okay, so once you remove those 4 screws, it looks like we can just lift it up. Okay, there's a little foam kind of holding it, and it looks like this screw mount actually broke off, so it's just coming out. I'll set that aside, I'll put it back later, but just lift the battery up, okay, like this, and the cables are here. There's a little bit of slack. To remove these cables, what you do is try and grab as close as you can to the connector and then kind of just wiggle it forward and backwards, or I don't know what you would say, but along this way, just up and that way. Okay, So I'm just wiggling the connector, and you can see it's slowly coming out. All right, and just keep wiggling it. It does take a little bit of force to kind of pull it. This connector is held in there pretty strong, but just keep wiggling it, and eventually it should pop out. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, there's the battery. I'm gonna clean this up, and I'll be back. All right, so I cleaned it up. There you go. I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna open up the laptop. Again, this one has a hinge issue, so I have to be a little bit careful. I forgot which side is popping up. Okay, this side. So I'm gonna just hold this down. All right, so open it up slowly and gently. All right, and then once you got it open, press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds. This will drain any power from the board, or not all of it, but it'll make it a lot safer to work with. Okay, so this is always a good thing to do just in case if you're working on internal components. Okay, I'm gonna close it now. I have to be careful because of that hinge. Why is it being weird to close? Well, it's being kind of scary to close. I have to be careful. There we go. Okay, so now you got the SSD here. This is a M.2. It's a PCIe NVMe SSD. There's just one screw. Once you remove that, you can kind of pull it slightly up and pull it back. I'm going to leave that in there. These kinds of connectors, like the DC jack or the charge port connector here, they come out just like the battery. You just grab, if you can, grab the wings of the plastic connector, not the cable, and then you just wiggle it as you kind of keep pulling it, and eventually it pops out just like that. I know it's kind of zoomed out, so it's hard to see, but I mean, hopefully you get the idea. Let me put this back in. And also, when you reconnect the connectors, it's always a good idea to pinch the two pieces together, so that way all the force isn't just going in one direction. So I like to squeeze the two pieces together just like this. All right, you got, again, M.2 PCIe NVMe. Got the wireless card here. I show how to remove this on a lot of like Macs, but it's basically the same idea. There's a screw underneath this foam piece, and then the antennas, you just go from the tail and pull them up. You got the LCD or LVDS connector. If you move this, you definitely want to disconnect the battery first. I don't want to mess around with too many connectors and stuff because the customer doesn't have any issues with those, and I don't want to risk damaging anything more than already is damaged. You got the keyboard cable here to remove that. Let me zoom in actually. So I'm not going to pull it out, but I'll just show you. There's these latches here that you flip up, and once you flip the latch up, you can pull the cable out, and then to put it back, just make sure the latch is up, put it back in place, and then put the latch down. This is the keyboard backlight connector. Let's see here. Okay, let me zoom out again. You got the fingerprint sensor connector here. The CPU and GPU are soldered to the board. I think the CPU is here and the GPU is here. If you do take this heatsink out, you do have to redo all the thermal paste, so I'm going to try and avoid that. They weren't that worried about the fan. It looks like this fan is the one with the issue. This one is perfectly fine. As you can see, it spins nicely. This one, it kind of gets stuck. So I'll see if I can do that without taking the whole heatsink out. If I can, then I will repair that. Otherwise, I will leave that be. All right, so under here is the RAM. I don't know if it's soldered to the board or if it's removable. They put some arrows here. I'm not sure why, but I guess we can see if we can start from there. So I just get my fingernail. You can use like a plastic pry tool, and I just get underneath. Let me see if I can show this. I just get underneath the little thing here, so it's like usually pressed down like that. Just get underneath, and I just pop it up just like that. All right, you want to do that on all the sides. Go under there and then go under here. And there's only one slot, so I think that means there's soldered RAM. Yep, so underneath this, I believe there's soldered RAM. Actually, I don't know, it's really flat, so maybe not. But there must be, if there's only one stick, then there's only one stick. But a lot of these, when they do one stick like that, there's actually RAM soldered to the board somewhere else. So this is 8 gigs. PC4 2400T. So you can upgrade the RAM, just make sure it's PC4 2400T, and you can get a 16 gig stick, or if they have a 32 gig stick, you can get that. But I don't think they'll have that. Maybe sometime in the future. Okay, and you got the trackpad connector here, and I think that's pretty much it. So we're gonna try and take this fan out. I'm gonna put this metal cover back on top. Okay, push that back down. Alright, there's like dust in here, so I'm just gonna clean that off. If your computer doesn't start up and the screen stays black after you've taken this out, you want to double check the RAM. A lot of times, if you didn't connect the RAM properly, then the computer is just going to stay black screened. So that's one of the main things. Sometimes the connectors get dirty too, so you can like wipe them down. I just use my fingers and wipe it off. Just make sure you don't leave any gross stuff on your RAM. Some people will say to use like rubbing alcohol, but you don't really need anything like that. Alright, so let's see about taking this fan out. I just see 3 screws here, so we'll see if that's good enough to remove it. I am getting messages, so I probably should pause this video and check them, but I'm gonna see if I can take this fan out real quick, because other than that, that's all I'm gonna show with this video. So it looks like they put the tape all the way over this. I don't know if the fan, it doesn't feel like the fan will come out separately, and this metal piece looks like it's soldered on here. So it looks like if I want to take out the fan, there's like crumbs or something rolling around. So it looks like if I did want to take out the fan here, that it wouldn't be a simple task. I would have to actually either take the whole heatsink out, or I'd have to take the whole motherboard out, which I'd rather take the whole motherboard out, because then I don't have to redo the thermal paste, but I don't think the customer is going to want me to do that with how much it's going to cost. So I'll let them know what the cost will be for me to do that job. But yeah, usually if I have to start pulling out the motherboard or something, it's going to be somewhere around 120, 150. So I don't think they're going to want to do that. I mean, the fan works. When it initially starts spinning, it's just noisy, but after that it spins okay, and this fan's perfectly fine. So yeah, as far as working on these, I mean, if you can do it yourself, then it's not a big deal. But yeah, if you have someone else that you're paying to do it, it's probably not going to be worth doing. I wish they didn't design it like this, because as you can see, this clip is coming out and this part is coming up already. I can try one thing. I'm going to try removing the 2 small screws here using a pH 0, or I might have to use a pH 00. Let's see. Nope, pH 0 works. So if I can somehow pull the fan out like this, just by lifting up the metal piece, then we can do it that way. But let me see. I might actually be able to. Let's see here. So I'm just lifting up this metal piece here, and I'm gonna lift up the fan with it. Let's try disconnecting the fan here. So just like the speaker one, you just keep wiggling it with the wings and it pops out just like that. All right, let's see if we can pull this fan out, or is it taped in there or something? It might actually be taped in there. So yeah, that's not gonna come out without some ripping out. I don't know why they put this tape here, because that's not holding the fan or anything. It doesn't look like it's holding anything in place. I don't think, actually, maybe. Okay, let's try peeling this tape up. Might as well, because this is, if the tape, removing the tape works, then shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, let's peel this tape off. Okay, so it looks like if we peel this tape, it is getting this metal piece out. So let's see. No, maybe, maybe not. Nope. Huh. What is this design? So they put this design, there's like a slit, but this whole metal piece is just part of the heatsink, so that didn't do anything. And I don't think we can pull out the fan this way. It looks like it's attached to something. Actually, I think it's hitting the heatsink here. So yeah, if you want to take the fan out, I mean, I can try bending it up this way and see, but it doesn't look like it's going to come out easily. Yep, nope, they put tape underneath as well, so I do see like this whole piece moving around under there, so I don't know. There's more tape on this side as well. Man, I'm gonna end up peeling out this whole thing. I'm gonna use this razor blade and see if I can use that to get this adhesive up. Kind of, not really, a little bit. Yeah, no, this is going to be a pain. I think I'd have to remove the whole motherboard. I do have videos of doing this. I mean, it's not so much that I can't do it, it's more like whether the customer would be willing to pay for it. And since I'm looking at this, I don't think they're going to be willing to pay for this job if I actually went and removed it. So yeah, no, it's like stuck underneath, so I would have to take the whole, I don't even know if the whole heatsink would come out without removing the whole, yeah, I'd probably have to remove the whole motherboard. Okay, so we're just gonna stick this back on. I don't even know if this is gonna stick back on actually, but I'll just put that back in there. Yeah, it kind of sticks. Alright, so I'm just gonna let the customer know what it will cost, and then we'll see, but they probably will end up leaving it. So we're gonna put back the fan screws. Okay, put back these small ones. Just like that. Okay, I'll put back the regular screws. Sorry I didn't go through with the repair, but if the customer's not paying me, I can't do this. I mean, it'll help some people, but what I make back in return from the videos is very small. So usually these kinds of things, it's not worth it for me to take the risk. Alright, or to do the extra work. Alright, so here we go. We're just going to reconnect the fan connector. Pinch this together. There we go. Alright, so we're going to get this and we're going to reconnect that. Same thing, pinch the two connectors together. Okay, you might have to switch left and right just because the connector is so long. Okay, and then we'll just put the battery back in place. Put back the 4 screws. I'm going to put back this plastic piece. Okay. Even though it's not really doing anything, it does help it from not spinning around a little bit, I guess, but it's technically not connected to anything, so. Alright, let's get these screws in. Oh, this one's missing the plastic too, but I don't know where that piece is, so we'll just leave that. And the last screw for the battery. And then we'll just put the bottom cover back in. And that's all there is. So let's just lay it back in place. Clip everything back in. Oops, let's zoom out. Alright. So yeah, we're just going to put back all the screws. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find my videos. Thank you for watching. You're welcome to stay till the end. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next one. Alright. And these bottom screws you do have to put in at a slight angle, so keep that in mind. Make sure the clips go in. Alright, that's it. I'll see you all in the next one. Oops. Alright, bye.